the story and the backstory of Forward Progress. So Becky and I, and Will and Richie actually are here too. We have been friends for forever, it seems like. We built our relationship at HSBC.
Yep.
And how long ago did you guys move?
13 years.
Wow, I didn't even realize that.
So
So 13 years ago, they went on a new adventure and moved to Virginia. And during that time, it was really interesting because Becky and I always maintained our friendship. And that's something I can say that's not happened a lot in my life.
Absolutely,
Is when
me
people
either.
moved away, I would lose touch over the years, but just something always drew me back to her, and I don't really know what that was. I do know what it
it's
was.
my amazing
Yeah.
personality.
It's her amazing personality, and I think God had something to do with that too.
For sure.
He knew there was a plan for us.
Yeah.
So actually 6 months ago, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. 8 months ago.
Right.
Yeah.
So we started talking about this thing, and we didn't know what this thing was.
Right.
But we were like, we got to do something for our community. Actually, I know when it was. It was last year you came in, maybe Christmas, maybe Thanksgiving. We
Okay.
went to Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Yeah.
And we had dinner, and we're like, gosh, we got to do something.
We did. Yeah.
So I think that's kind of where it started. So fast forward to this Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
and here we are.
Wow.
That's
I
crazy.
didn't even realize
I
that.
know. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect.
For us, we love personal development. She's been to a conference recently. We went together to a conference.
Yeah.
And that's really important to both of us. But we really love our community too.
Yeah, I think too, like, I don't know, Billy, like for me, like I think personal development and even like us with working together,
Yeah.
like, and with, this is always a struggle. Will and Richie, I don't want to say anything too crazy there, but like it's always just been something that's really critical to us of, continuously improving ourselves,
Absolutely.
holding each other accountable. Whenever we kind of needed somebody, whatever kind of was going on, we're kind of that shoulder to say like, either let me step up on your shoulders for a minute so that, you can carry me or help me like hold myself to a new level of responsibility. So I think we wanted to share that with kind of and expand on what we have already, that relationship, but also as we started kind of building this out, we were just like, we want other people to have that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And so in August, right, we traveled to Virginia, and Richie and Will were there also. And we literally sat at their kitchen table and just built what we thought this business should look like.
Well, started to build it.
Well,
Let's
started,
say it like
yeah.
that.
So we
still
started
building
it. Yeah, so it's still going. But, something I was really proud of is every day we started that with prayer.
Yeah.
And, we asked for guidance, we asked for wisdom, and we got it. I mean,
We
we
did.
really did. Every day we walked away and we're like, gosh, that felt great.
Yeah.
And so we're just trying to build on that, right?
For sure.
So I think that's kind of how it started. So, we're in these beginning stages, and
Absolutely.
we don't have any idea what this is going to look like.
Yeah. Which is
But-
kind of scary,
Yeah,
but
it is.
super exciting.
It's very exciting.
Because like I think for us, like we want to make sure that we're helping to develop, like Billy said, like within our communities, both in the organizations or the communities that we both live in, but also to help people from an individual perspective. I know that
Sure.
like we said before, it's just something that's been really passionate for us. But also, like, as we continue throughout this, like, we want to, share our story as we're going through it.
Yeah.
We talk about this all the time, like, where we follow, like, these different people.
Yes.
And we get, like, insight and training, whatever it is that they might be doing. And they share some of the story. But I think for us, like, it's really important to kind of share that story from beginning to indefinitely.
Yeah. Ongoing.
So, as we go through this, I think it'll be interesting to kind of come back at this someday and say, like, okay, this is what we thought that we were doing or creating, and maybe it is exactly what we're planning.
Right.
But I think for us, it's important to just follow and be obedient, and to understand like what those steps are, and to listen to you guys, as our audience and our community continues to build, what do you guys want from us?
For sure.
What do you need from us?
Yeah, because we do have a lot of things that we're going to be offering to you guys, and because we are deeply passionate about ongoing training and personal development ourselves, and we're constantly reading books, listening to podcasts. So we really want to make sure that we give you valuable information too. As we're learning, we want to share that with you guys.
Yeah.
So and we commit to doing that.
Yeah, I think we have to talk about this, Billy, because I think one of the biggest things, as we said, even before when we were, probably last year when we first started talking about this, and definitely when you guys were in Virginia Beach and we started talking about this, the one thing that kept coming up was we want to help, whether it's people, communities, businesses, to break the cycle.
Absolutely.
So when we start talking about that, Billy, like what are some of the things like that really kind of resonated for you when we talked about breaking the cycle?
So I think for me, this might get a little emotional. Actually.
I know, right? We might need some Kleenexes over here, boys.
So last year I had the opportunity to go to Africa, and when I came back, I was so fired up about everything, right? I wanted to do all the things. I wanted to sell everything we had, first of all. And Rich was like, whoa, wait a minute. But it really taught me a valuable lesson that we have a lot going on here too. Yeah. Like we have a lot of opportunities to just pour into people here. And it's really all about love, right?
Absolutely.
So when I was there, they didn't speak our language, but they understood love and kindness.
That's great.
And so when I came back here, I started, going to the jail ministry. And over I saw, women who were broken and just needed hope. And I think that was a big motivator for me, really, was to say, we've got to break that cycle of these women going back into the prison system because they feel like they don't have, a chance. Yeah. And we as a Fourward group, we just want to give people that opportunity and that chance and build these people up. Yeah. And build leaders up.
Absolutely.
And so I think that was really my driving force for breaking that cycle.
I think too, like it's important, like, there's scenarios where I think that we've needed other people to give us that hope. Yeah. Right? Where we ourselves have been in scenarios that we were like, oh man, like, what is the next step? Where we had to, there's many times even now, right? We have things going on in our personal lives that the first thing in the morning, and to be honest, this has kind of become a habit that we didn't even really initiate.
I know, or realize.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
But like every morning, like we are, we're on Facebook Messenger since we live so far apart, or we're checking on each other, like, hey, how are things going for you this morning, and vice versa. I think like one day last week, we were both like, it was like crazy
4 o'clock,
busy.
And I was like, hey, she hasn't checked on me today. And I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah. So just to like, knowing that we have that for each other is awesome. But then also in my coaching practice, I continue to hear people, and I say people because Billy hit on, and I agree with this, that it's definitely huge in women, but I see it in so many of my clients that it's this worthiness, this like, kind of like, I've got to do so much more, I've got to be so much more, and I can't be vulnerable, and this whole worthiness, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
And I'm just calling BS on that, right?
For sure.
Like we all have to be there for one another and vulnerable, and not to look at Facebook or social media and say, oh, they've got it together, because in their feeds they might.
Absolutely. Yeah, we know it took 10 pictures to get that one perfect one, though,
Absolutely.
right? Or to get out the door in the mornings takes, a lot of screaming, a lot of yelling. But when we're outside the door smiling, it's totally
it's like
different.
Everything's perfect today.
Yeah, and that's true. I think you really hit on something there. In business and in life in general, I think we've always been taught, or I know I have at least, is to just hold your emotions back. Don't let anybody see you have emotions. And that's not, it's just terrible, because we all have emotions. And I think it's okay to share those with people. And I think the more that you are open with that. Vulnerable, absolutely. You're going to walk in your worth and your self-worth, and you're not going to try to hide that back.
100%.
So I love that. And I think that as a culture, we just don't do that enough.
I agree with that, but I think that we have to also be willing to help others to feel that that's okay.
Right.
One of the best ways that I know how to do that is to do it myself. So I think for the 4 of us, you know, really getting out there and showing like, guys, we're making this up as we go.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it might work out, it might not.
Right.
Like we are, what Will always says is like, there's no losers, there's just learners.
Right.
We're signing up for that one.
Yeah, this is totally not scripted. Anyway,
I think we may have started out with bullet points where we're totally off that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But again, like as we kind of continue to go through our journey, we encourage, you know, you guys to be that for each other. We encourage you to be that for someone else because, gosh, how many people out there that we know, you know, specifically that just need that.
Yeah.
Whether it's a smile or a, hey, how's it going?
Absolutely.
I don't care if it's in person, I don't care if it's on social media or like just reaching out. And sometimes it's okay to be in that uncomfortable situation. I think, and I guess it's coming from my coaching, but one of the things that like I'm not going to even say passionate about, I just constantly do it, and I know that I've grown so much just from this, is like those difficult conversations for so many people, they avoid them.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. Yeah, conflict is necessary.
It is.
Good conflict is necessary.
Yeah. So I think if we can help to build those skills, and we continue to build our own, right?
For sure.
Like to build those skills to be able to have those uncomfortable conversations, but to do it tactfully.
Right, exactly.
Right? And I would say start small.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
If, you know, be mindful to be polite to people, but, you know, really like start to have some of those difficult conversations. And that's one thing that we'll continue to kind of talk through too.
Yeah, so like you were saying, you know, if you have someone that you can count on, I think that's great. And for me, that was Becky. Like she was hundreds of miles away, but I still could reach out to her at any point, and I knew that.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, we encourage you to find that person. You know, it doesn't have to be somebody in your hometown, in your home. It could be somebody that you really trust.
Absolutely.
Or it could be us.
Absolutely. So with that, like if you, you know, if you're needing somebody to connect with, like, we're building a community here.
Absolutely, yeah.
Everyone's welcome.
Right.
So within this community, like we really want to engage with you, you know, as we go through this figuring it out. I think it's important for us to build the community that you guys need. So if there's something that, you know, if you want to connect on anything, reach out to us. You know, we'll definitely get back with you and attempt to build that community that we know everybody needs.
Right. And it's going to be a safe environment.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah, so like, comment, go to our Facebook page, Forward Progress, or Instagram. We have a website, forwardprogress.com, F-O-U-R. And we're also going to be building a YouTube channel also. So, you know, check that out as well. And we look forward to seeing you guys.
Yeah, and I think too, the other piece of that, Billy, that I keep thinking about is use this video, right? If like you have somebody in mind that you're like, oh, I think I'd really like to be in community with them, or like I'd really like to kind of build that relationship with them, send them this video and say, like, check this out. Like, how cool is this? And, you know, we encourage you, like, follow us together. Hopefully we'll give you some things to talk about as we continue through this journey.